Hi guys, and welcome back to the Pushed Envelope presents Alex in the City. I'm going to be going through with you guys this week about a few things that are starkly different about New York and South Florida as far as lifestyle and growing up and growing out and moving out on your own goes. I moved from South Florida in 2013, mid-2013, to come to the big city and pursue all of my dreams and do things that I am passionate about. And making that transition has been like a big part of my time here, making a transition from somewhere that is just so different lifestyle wise. So I'm just gonna go down about like 5 or 6 things about each place that are starkly different. The most important thing, number 1, Publix, no Publix. Okay, I work for this supermarket that exists only in the South in about 6 states. I worked for them most of my high school and college career, and that's not the only reason I love them. I love them because I grew up shopping there, and it's really awesome. So New York has a string of all type of wayward, back alley, downtrodden brands of chains of what they call grocery stores, but they don't have anything that compares to Publix at all. Okay, number 2. New York is a fast-paced city. It is always going. Some people say it's a city that never sleeps. There is a lot always going on in New York, but I was really surprised at how many places close fairly early or close at all in New York City. I thought that you could sit, in a really scenic place in New York in a 24-hour Starbucks and be a starving artist that it's like writing and sending emails or just like pining and thinking for hours upon hours, and like stuff closes. That's just the thing. Stuff closes. As it does in Florida. Florida is a much slower place, South Florida at least, where I'm from, which is West Palm Beach. I lived in Coconut Creek and Boca Raton, some areas of Broward before I left. And that is all like retirement city. Everyone goes there to visit their granny, and that's because they are there. It's warmer. The taxes there are less. You don't pay a state tax in Florida. You only pay a federal tax in your payroll and everything. So that's a big deal in New York. It's been a big deal for me financially. I'm like, that is a lot of money, girl. I'm going back to Florida. But I'm actually not. So, it's very slow paced. Not a lot going on. Not a lot of progress. Not a shift in like a collective mindset by any stretch of the imagination. It's very stagnant in my experience. So number 3, kind of piggybacking off of what I just said, New York is very, very, very expensive, and South Florida can be expensive to live. I think it is one of the more expensive places to live in America, but it has nothing on New York. New York, from just regular retail items being jacked up to match the price of where we live, and rent being sky high and ridiculous, and everything just being really expensive, and unexpected costs because of the lifestyle here usually adds to that. So one is expensive, one is not so expensive, but in New York, I want to say you get what you pay for, and sometimes you do if you belong in New York. I always say people who belong here will end up being here, and it's the price that we pay. It's just how we do it. In New York, we have crazy talented, crazy successful, crazy people. That's just what gravitates here. That's what survives here. That's what makes this place what it is. It's not the friendliest city. New Yorkers are not like as rude and as crass as people may make them seem, but I can see why people are because of the lifestyle here. But there's crazy talented people, some of the most unique, some of the most gifted, some of the most bright futures, some of the most successful, actual established careers you'll run into here. Just finding an apartment and a roommate and a job or work. You get to work with some of the best of the best. You get to be around people who've done amazing things and chosen to continue to do amazing things with their life. And you get to be one of those people. So that's really great about New York. In Florida, there's a lot of retired people in Florida. There's a lot of retired people in Florida. It is a state where you can make a family and a home and be settled. And that's kind of what I plan to do when I want to be married and settled and just not really need to be here to get the work. be in a place in my career where people know how to find me and they know exactly if they want me, and I don't necessarily need to be in this place all the time. I need it to be accessible to me, but I don't need to be here all the time. So Florida is really good for that. It is not great for an artist that is really looking to have lots of opportunity in addition to training and being passionate about something. It's just a lot more accessible here, and I think you can make the most of wherever you are, and you can do what you're passionate about wherever you are. But some places make it a little bit more easy, and it makes a little bit more sense to those that are around you, as opposed to if you stay at home and you kind of have your head in the clouds in some people's eyes, it feels a lot differently. So aside from that, oh my gosh, my house is so noisy in my opinion. We have a remodel going on next door, and the heat is just extraordinarily loud, and I feel like everything is caught in sound. Either way, public transit versus having a car. In New York, public transit is fantastic. In Florida, I was always, younger and poorer, and I was like, I don't have money for a car. If I could buy a little cheap car, you always have to worry about gas and tires and repairs and oil changes, and if you get your car detailed, you have to worry about getting your car detailed. And did I say insurance? If you get a car that isn't paid off, you have to worry about car payments. And I would have rather had dependable public transit, mass transit in South Florida to get around, and also made me feel a little bit better about how much gas I was using. You burn a lot of fuel. Like, at one point I was living with me, my mom, and my sister, and we all had a car. And it's like you're wasting and polluting a lot. So there's that, but it's also a luxury to have a car. I mean, I don't really wear heels as much anymore in New York City, or I wear a certain style of heel because of how rigorous it is to get around here, going up and down stairs, walking on the pavement, walking blocks and blocks and blocks, and there's stairs everywhere. All the buildings are old. Sometimes you go to your friend's house and it's a 3-story walk up. Oh my God, who was expecting that? No one. So you have to anticipate things like that in New York, as opposed to in Florida, where you can just, I would wear the highest, thinnest, strappiest heels, because I was walking from my door to my car. My feet would rest in the car until I got to my destination. I got to my destination. I would go from the car to my destination, most times to have a seat. I didn't go out and party a lot, so most times I was just sitting down. If I was I wasn't wearing the highest, skinniest, strappiest heels to school, but if I had on heels or anything, going to school, going to work, going to an event when I worked in sports radio, when we had to do press and stuff, I would wear heels, but it was a lot easier to do as opposed to New York City. And I think the biggest thing that people really look at when I talk about moving from South Florida to here is the seasons. Winter versus being super warm all year. It's not super warm, but let me see. I'm gonna check the weather in Florida right now, okay? Let's see something. Because here it's in the 50s, and I just went for a run. I'm fine. It is 50 degrees and cloudy here. It is 79 degrees and mostly cloudy in the city of West Palm Beach. It is 81 and partly cloudy in the city of Boca Raton. In Coconut Creek, it is partly cloudy and 81 degrees. So yeah, it's the middle of December and it's not getting cold. I know winter is really in the beginning months of the year, but it's not going to get cold in Florida. It's really not. It may hit a smooth 40 degrees in like the ass crack of winter, and that'll be it. So yeah, people are like, oh, you're really crazy moving to New York. There's sunshine. How do you adapt? You have to like wear a coat and a scarf and boots, and what is that even about? But it's all a risk you take. It's a part of being here and part of having the opportunity and the accessibility of New York City and being at home with the type of people that are here. So yeah, that's the difference. I mean, there are many other things that I could talk about, but those are some of the things that pop up most in conversation, or things that I miss most. And I mean, aside from lifestyle for those particular cities, for me personally, the most stark difference is just being away from home. being away from the comfort of home, being away from my family, and like feeling like I'm missing out on things. I know there are people that are at home that feel like nothing's happening there, and in all actuality, nothing's really happening there. But that's my family, and that's always happening to me. You know, that's always what's happening. It's like, what else is there besides being with your family? So yeah, I miss my family a lot, especially during the holidays. So that's the biggest difference for me personally. If you guys have any questions about moving to New York, about living in New York, about how to get out of your city, about when you think you're ready to move to New York, about what you should look out for, about anything, just leave them down in the comments box or hit me up on social media. I'll leave all my info down there. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe and like and share and click an ad if you're feeling saucy. I mean, won't hurt nobody. Yeah, I appreciate you guys. I hope you have a wonderful holiday. If you celebrate Christmas, great. Kwanzaa, great. Happy holidays. What else is coming up? Hanukkah, you know, a little Festivus for the rest of us. All that great stuff. Happy holidays, people. Be blessed. Hopefully I'll see you before the new year. Deuces!